How you doing? Welcome. I'll see you soon. Dog's barking out.
Yo, and I'm back, showered, fresh, shaved, you know, all that, yeah, but welcome back to the channel anyway. I'm Ed, as you all know probably, unless you're new. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, push the button, notification bell, join in on the family, you know. We're trying to get me up to 1,000, I'm not far away. I'm gonna do a giveaway, dab rig, jumper, t-shirt, that type of stuff, you know. So, yeah, all the smoking accessories, everything, just to say thank you for getting me up to 1,000. So one lucky person will win that, you know. Hopefully you're in the UK, otherwise we're gonna have a bit of a problem. We'll sort something out anyway, but cool. Anyway, so today I'm gonna be talking about terpenes, yeah? Terpenes, we all love them, you know we love them. I've done a video, I'm on my 98th video now, 2 away from 100. It was one of my first couple videos. So let's just do another one. See if I can cover a few more things. A couple of people asked me to speak about in depth a little bit, but you know, I'm not a scientist. I can only do research, and I presume everyone else can do research. So I'm just gonna just explain what I've found. And if you know more, whack it in the comments. I'm always willing to learn. Always willing to learn. So I'm gonna start off with my favourite, humulene. Humulene, I think it's called. Yeah. Anyway, humulene is the terpene that's found in hops. It smells like a woody, earthy and spicy, yeah? That's the sort of notes. For instance, Skywalker OG has it, Girl Scout Cookies has it, you know? So you probably know the smell. Maybe you knew the terpene, but if you didn't, then that's the terpene humulene. Basically, humulene, it has all them lovely smells and flavours, but it also reduces inflammation, it relieves pain, and it also fights bacterial infections. There's also been studies done saying it's an anti-prophylactic. I think I've said that right. Which means basically it prevents cancer cells from growing. That's early research that's been done into it, but it does do the other things, but early research says that's what it's showing to be doing. So let's see what the research says, but that's why we need it properly legalized so we can research. But anyway, second one, eucalyptol. As you probably know, eucalyptol is the terpene that's found in eucalyptus. Obviously, I mean, it's so close to the name, innit? You know what I mean? But like, yeah, so the terpene that comes through on eucalyptol is like a minty, fresh sort of tone that comes through, you know? So strains that have this most dominant in them are Super Silver Haze and Headband, I can find. But still, it's only 0.06%. So, I mean, there probably is some strains out there that are really minty, you know what I mean? There's probably high in it, but there's not a lot of strains that are high in eucalyptol. So eucalyptol also relieves pain and slows fungal infections. It can slow them down as well. There's also been studies shown to have good effects in Alzheimer's disease. So fingers crossed again on studies. Let's get further on them and see what we can do. But as we know, terpenes are a big thing. They're a big player in the game. Because if you've got cannabis that's got no terpenes in it, the entourage effect ain't gonna take effect, you know? So you're just gonna get a certain medicated or a certain high just off of the cannabinoids. But if you mix in terpenes with it, like this stuff I'm talking about, all these terpenes, all the humulene and all that, mix all that in, you get an amazing effect. You get an amazing effect. So I'm gonna move on to one that you probably know. Yeah, loads of people do it. I mean, you look on the back of a cleaning agent and it will say it. Most of you already know. It's limonene. Yeah, limonene, you know, I ain't really got to say much about it. So limonene is citrus terpene, very close to lemons. It's in lemons and other citrus fruits, but mainly lemons. The effects you get from it are very uplifting. It's very, it has antidepressant properties, stress relief properties, but it also can, like studies are proving, but we still need to go further, that it can reduce some tumours. Not all tumours, some tumours. Like cannabis doesn't cure cancers and all cancers. Some cancers it actually speeds up the process. THC can actually speed up. But anyway, that's another story. And yeah, so limonene. So anyone out there liking their lemon strains, their sour strains, I mean there's a little bit of limonene in OG, and also sour diesels. You know them strains, man. They're the ones that I personally stay away from. OG Kush love all day long, I would never stay away from that, but the lemons and the sour diesels, I do sort of veer away from them. Like, they're not really for me. I need more for pain than a stress relief. I'm not really that stressed of a person, really. I don't really get that stressed. Maybe it's because I'm always medicated, I don't know, but I don't get that stressed. So I mean, I need it more for the pain. So, you know, the other terpenes, the other ones that I've been talking about, the pain relief ones, like the Limonene and that, yeah. So, but I mean, this would still relieve pain, but I'm looking for something different. And to be honest, the Limonene terpene gives me that sativa feeling, you know, the sativa feeling. I'm not really a fan of that. Don't get me wrong, I'll chuff it if there's nothing there. If like I was on holiday and someone pulled out a bag of lemon, I'm going to be on that, yeah. But I mean, in general, I ain't going to go and get that. If I had to go to a dispensary and I've got an array of different strains, I'm not going to pick a lemon one. Although lemon cherry gelato is a banging one, but it ain't really lemony. Do you know? Anyway, but yeah, Limonene. Next one is linalool. Yeah, linalool. Right, so linalool is a terpene that's found in lavender, cinnamon, coriander. Yeah, so that's, do you know that lavender? That's the one that I would more focus on when I hear of linalool. I'd focus more on lavender, although there is other ones that, but me, when I see linalool, I picture lavender. I don't know why, but that's what I do. It's a spicy, floral type of note, like a smell and a taste. Yeah, it is the one, if you are looking for, say you're struggling to sleep, look for that terpene. That terpene there is the one that helps people get to sleep. Lavender, we all know what lavender does. My daughter, she's got a little bottle of lavender spray, yeah? I mean, I've got lavender plants in the garden at the front, and what we do is we grab some, dry it out, put it into one of them little bags, yeah? And she sticks it in her pillowcase, loves it. But she also got a little spray bottle that she sprays her pillowcase. I have a little spray sometimes, and also it's for you rub it on your what do you call it? I don't know. You know them bits on your arms and your things and that. You know what I mean? And helps you sleep. So linalool think of that: lavender, sleep, linalool, sleep. That's why I think of lavender when I think linalool, because it's the easiest way for me to remember what it is. So the strains it's in is in Amnesia Haze, Special Kush, LA Confidential, OG Shark. I'm not too sure what that is, but that's what I found on Google. And obviously the strain Lavender. That's the most on. So if you really want it, look for the strain Lavender. If you're really struggling to sleep, I would personally go for the name of the strain that's called Lavender, but you know, the other ones might help you more. But that's just me for branding, innit? You know, they got me they got me under the name, bro. They got me. Next one. This is one I like too. I really do like this. You may have heard me say it before, and I've done some research today and I found something else out as well with it, which I didn't know, and that's probably the reason why I like it even more. So it's Kerry Fling. Hang on, did I pronounce that? No, Kerry Fling. Right, it's Kerry Fling. Yeah, now Kerry Fling's found in, you probably heard loads of people like Josh from Raw and things like that. It's found in black pepper, cinnamon, cloves, spices like oregano, basil, and rosemary, if I remember rightly. Yeah. So anyway, what I found out is beta caryophyllene, which is that terpene, right? It attaches itself to the CB2 receptors, so it's really good for topical creams and things like that for anti-inflammatory. Now, I did not know that. Found that out today when I was Googling. That's just a weird, I didn't realise that. It's the only terpene that can do it as well. No other terpenes combined with a CB receptor, CB2 receptor to be specific. Don't you think that's crazy? That's awesome when you think about it. Like the research they could do if they was it's so annoying, because what we found out so far is so far behind when it comes to medicine with cannabis. So far behind. And another reason why I think I like Kerry Fling, and I used to hunt that strain out, that terpene out, is because studies have shown that it helps with people in alcoholism rehabilitation. I don't know what the studies are, but that sounds promising, doesn't it? Like, you know, I mean, I was an alcoholic, and 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago now, nearly 10.5 years ago, I stopped. So, I mean, maybe that's why I was hunting that strain, or I keep saying strain, that terpene, I don't know, man. But it's, like I say, the research we could do if they was allowed to. I think they're allowed to do research on it if they're proving it to not do something. So, do you see what I'm saying? So it's very difficult for them to find that it does something, because they're not technically legally allowed to study on it to prove it does something. They can study on it to prove, oh, it doesn't do that, oh, it doesn't do that. So you're just a process of elimination until you get to something that it does do. And we find out these little bits of information over the years, you know, because it's taking years. Oh man, it bugs me. But Kerry Fling, banging. Next is gonna be alpha pinene and beta pinene. It's basically the same thing. They both smell of pine, you know, like pine trees. I personally don't like the smell, but the terpene does have some good properties to it, which people with asthma or other, listen anyway. So it smells like pine trees, yeah. You know that pine proper. I used to be a chippy. Like I used to make them fit staircases. So I used to know what that smell is, yeah. That and it bugs me because I open a pot and I smell that. I'm like, ah, it's not what I want. But on the flip side, it does help with some other things. It is an inflammatory, of course. Most terpenes are, and also, more importantly, it improves the airflow on your respiratory functions. So, I mean, there's a flip side to it. I may not like the terpene, but it does improve airflow to your respiratory functions, which is also, it's going to help you. You're going to get more oxygen to your blood, you know, like, see that? Maybe this is why I should consume it a bit more. It reduces the memory loss you can get from THC, you know, so maybe I should consume it a bit more. I forget my kids' names sometimes, it's insane. Well, I call them different names and that, it's nuts. Pinene also, my wife has Crohn's disease. Now pinene is also very good for people with Crohn's disease and cancer. So for people with Crohn's, you would want to be looking for ones with pinene in it, because it's very good as an anti-inflammatory for the gut system, and CBG as well. So look for CBG as well. So pinene and CBG, that should be a lovely mix for people with Crohn's and colitis, or IBS or IBD, or anything along them lines. You can find it in some strains, but they're quite old strains. The all I could find was a Jack Herer, a Sweet Island Skunk, Dutch Treat, Romulan, Strawberry Cough, and Blue Dream, if I'm right. I think there may be a couple more that I've written down, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, so they're the ones, so look for a couple of them, and yeah, if that's your strain, if that's your terpene, crack on, my man or woman or whatever you identify. It's all good, no judgment here. So anyway, I'm going to get onto the final one, which is going to be myrcene. Myrcene is what you probably all know as well, just a bit like the limonene. Everyone knows about that. So studies have shown that myrcene actually takes up 65% of terpene profiles in some strains. It's very high. People that seems to be the terpene that a lot of strains are based on now. And there's probably a reason behind that. This is one of my favourite ones as well, yeah? So like humulene, Kerry Fling and myrcene. If I could get a strain that's just them three dominant, I might have to have a look at that and figure that one out. But yeah, it's earthy, musky. You know when I say that earthy muskiness that I talk about on the channel when I'm doing the reviews, like, you know, can have a grapey-like aroma as well, but I mainly recognise it is when I smell that earth. You know, that earthy, that's what I recognise myrcene as personally. So strains that have 0.5% of myrcene in them, they're usually indicas, and they're very usually highly sedative. And this is the reason why I go for it. Yeah, I mean, I go for it because it's very good in reducing chronic pain. And with my back can go proper, like, you know what I mean? And That's the problem with some of the medical at the minute. It's not terpene rich. It needs to be more terpene rich. Now, if I found a strain that was high in myrcene, I know it would seriously help me for my back when it goes. You know, so I mean, that's the sort of thing I'm looking for. I mean, myrcene is in all the OGs. You know what I mean? All the Skywalker. I love Skywalker, but it's in all of them type strains. Yeah, I mean, look it up, myrcene. And when you go on get your prescription, if you're in the UK, they have that little tiny ball, don't they? Yeah, and just look out for it, and you'll see most of it will be myrcene, and then you'll have limonene and Kerry Fling. You know, like the main dominant one is myrcene, the second main dominant one is limonene. So you know, that's what you're looking at for, is if you're in chronic pain, is the myrcene content. That's what I look for. And yeah, if you're anything like me and you've been consuming quite a while and you've got a high tolerance, the higher the myrcene content for me, the better the strain. But that's my view, anyone. That's my view. That's not you. You do you. So I hope that's been a bit informative for you. I mean, it's not. There's hundreds and different types of terpenes. I've just picked out an handful and just went through them, just so you can have a look at them, right? You know, and just see what, because they're the most dominant ones, really. That's why I went for them. But yeah, man, that's the end of the video. And if no one said it to you today, people, I will. Yeah, I love you. And I hope you have a blessed day. See you on the next one.